A couple of bands performing at the Summer Bash in Wooster, Ohio, August 25th. Kicking off the show tonight, we heard Every Mother's Nightmare with House of Pain, and we just heard our good friends Red Rain with Red Rain, which there's an awesome video on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet. And a guy hopefully not living in the House of Pain this week, my partner and friend, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
Can't be in that much pain as long as I'm drinking now, can I?
I don't know. I guess it depends on if you're drinking Novocaine or Vicodin or what are you drinking?
Just beers. In fact, I just opened the first one. I drank a cup of coffee first because I didn't take a nap, and then and now I'm drinking a beer or six, and then I'll go back to coffee.
All right. Well, we are back. We apologize for taking the week off last week. We kind of thought we were going to be able to do some kind of a show last week, but because arrangements were not what we thought they would be, it just didn't work out.
No. Well, hey, dude, personal shit comes up. And you know what? And I'll let you, I have not talked about it all week, although I must have gotten 50 messages for it. And all of the messages were framed up of, what, was Dockin within 500 miles of Neeley again? So I will let you address that. I did not answer a single one of those messages.
All right. Well, I will tell you that we took the week off.
Yes.
And this was something that was actually brought up on the show way back in, I believe it was March. My sister and her boyfriend, or I guess significant other, called in the show late one evening.
Yes.
And she announced that she was getting married on June 30th.
Yeah.
So she was on the show live. She called in and said, hey, I'm getting married on June 30th. Are you loving it or what?
Right.
And then Chris got into a little word banter with her, and the cunt word was thrown around, and everybody got hurt feelings, and that was the end of that.
Oops.
So where was I last week? I was attending a wedding. I was at my sister's wedding in Ohio.
Right.
And because I wasn't really aware of the arrangements of this thing, because I didn't get an invitation until about a week before this thing happened.
Right.
I was not aware that it was a quote-unquote sunset wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, maybe this is going to happen during the day. It was happening in Akron, which is, 20 minutes from Chris's place.
Right.
And I thought, okay, I'll attend this wedding. Head over to Chris and we'll just do the show.
Right, sure.
Well, then I get the invitation. I see that the thing doesn't even start till 8:45.
Right.
And so it's just like, well, I guess that's out of the question.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Then you were going to try to fill and, get one of your compadres, whether it was Josh Toomey or...
Yeah.
Or somebody to fill in and do a show regardless.
Right.
But then you hurt your back.
Yeah, well, it's been hurt, but I just was like, you know what? It ain't going to hurt. My back has been so bad, and I'll get into this in a minute, but it has been so bad that I've been struggling to walk back and forth from the shitter to the bed and back. So
you don't shit the bed.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, my back... To clear it up, and I have a wonderful story about what a cunt a doctor can be, but so everybody understands that I'm not just bullshitting here, I have torn cartilage and a possible torn ligament or something where your hip meets your lower back, like where it all connects.
Right.
So I just... If I lay certain ways, if I move certain ways, if I sit too long, if I lay too long, if I do I can't stand for shit. And any of that other stuff is just a fucking nightmare, man. I mean, it's... So what ends up happening is I'll be laying in bed watching TV or something, and I'll just be like, oh, man, I got to take a piss. Well, in order to take a piss, I have to gear myself up for the immense amount of pain that it's going to take me to roll over and sit up. And then every step that I take, I'm crawling the walls to get to the fucking bathroom. I mean, it has been, it was bad enough that you know me, dude, I never go to the doctor. And I ended up at a doctor and rang up $2,000-$3,000 worth of tests to get a diagnosis and start fixing this shit.
Right.
So, and you know me well enough to know that does not happen in my world unless something is really fucked up.
Right.
So that's why the thought of at first, because you told me on what, like Sunday or something?
Yeah. Well, see, again, I thought that it was going to be like maybe a 4:00 thing, maybe a afternoon thing. Mm-hmm. And I figured, okay, well, I'll go to the wedding, then I'll jet over and we'll just do the show at your studio and we'll just get this thing done. And, then I realized it was so late in the evening. I was just like, I'm not going to be able to make the wedding, then jet over to your place and do a show. Right. Mm-hmm. And then because you were in so much pain, you were just like, you know what, fuck it. I got to take the week off anyway. Dude,
the combination of one, it was 900 degrees outside last Saturday. And you know how hot this office gets anyway. And, I was like, I am not sitting in that fucking room, in 800 degrees of heat. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
And be in pain on top of it. So because at first I had asked Toomey he was going to do it, or he was working it out to possibly do it. And then I just hit him back up and said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm taking the week off.
Right.
And I was just fine with taking the week off, honestly.
Sure.
I ain't going to lie. I did not miss it because the way my back was feeling last week, I wouldn't have given them very good radio at all. It would have been a lot of me not paying attention and holding my fucking back.
Right. Well,
today's better.
Well, for those of you who are diehard fans, and again, I appreciate everybody who looks forward to the show every week, because I look forward to the show every week. I'm going into 23 years of doing this show, and I still look forward to it every week.
Yeah, it's fun.
But the thing is if I had a way of doing the show next week or last week, I would have done it.
Sure.
But things just didn't work out. But regardless, I went over to Ohio to attend this wedding.
Right.
So I'll give you the blow-by-blow if you want to hear about this.
If you want to share it, it's your family.
Well, it is. Nothing bad. It was more interesting than anything else.
Sure.
So me and the girlfriend, we headed out Saturday morning. And since we realized this thing wasn't going to take place till almost 9:00 at night,
right?
She says, "Hey, it's been a long time since I've been to the Fort Wayne Zoo.
Okay,
you want to go to the zoo?"
And when was the last time Neeley was at any zoo?
Last time I went to a zoo, I believe it was the Cleveland Zoo.
Yeah,
and I think it was like 1993.
Wow.
So it's been a long time since I went to a zoo, aside from watching the chat room on a Saturday night.
Right.
So I'm just like, yeah, I got all day. I got nothing going on, obviously. We're going to just drive over to Ohio and go to this thing. So, yeah, if you want to hit the zoo, let's go to the zoo.
Right.
So I wasn't even aware Fort Wayne, Indiana had a zoo. Had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So we went over there, and surprisingly, it was actually a nice zoo. I mean, right. It was clean. It was pretty modern. It was very well maintained. They had pretty decent animals and things, and so we just spent we got over there about 11:00 Eastern time,
right?
And just kind of meandered through the zoo, checking out the animals and things, and they had some of the some exotic stuff. They had your typical animals. They had zebras and wildebeests and
right.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my,
right.
And they also had a few rides, I guess, if you want to call it that. They had like this log ride thing. It wasn't like a splashdown thing. It was just sort of like a log tour that went through like a jungle type situation.
Right.
And
sure.
it was I'm going to say it was about a 20 or 25 minute thing.
Okay.
And, you just basically go through the jungles of Africa and you get up close to the zebras and the monkeys and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
It was hot as the fucking jungle in Africa last week. That's what surprised me most about you going there was how fucking hot it was.
The thing is we got there early, okay, because it didn't start getting hot until about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, because wasn't it mid-90s by the middle of the day?
It was, but we got there and it was still in the upper 70s when we got there.
Okay.
But by the time we left the zoo about 1:30,
right.
it was about 90. So we'd already made our way all the way through and saw everything we wanted to see and got out of there.
Right.
And so we headed over to Akron and checked into the hotel. We got over there about 5.
Okay.
And so we had a few hours to kill, so I just racked out for a little bit and took a nap and then headed over to the sister's house. Now, mind you, this was not a big affair.
Okay.
This was something that they were doing at their home, and they were having an outdoor sunset wedding. You know, it was just a small, intimate affair with family and close friends.
Right, sure.
That's all that it was.
Okay.
And so, you know, I don't see my family. I have 5 brothers and sisters. You know, there was actually 7 of us total, but one of them no longer living. But so there's 6 of us total. So I don't see them that often.
Do you know all their names?
Surprisingly, I do. So the last time I think that I saw everybody in one place was about almost 2 years ago at a funeral.
Okay.
So that's when you see your family at funerals and weddings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go over to the house and just kind of hanging out there. And my older brother comes in. I haven't seen him since the funeral almost 2 years ago.
Right.
And he comes in and he's like, hey, how you doing? You know, good to see you and stuff. And first thing out of his mouth is, hey, I work with one of your biggest fans. And I'm just
right.
I'm like, what? He goes, I work with one of your biggest fans. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, there's this guy that I work with, and he comes to work and he has all these concert T-shirts.
Okay.
He wears these concert T-shirts. He's got a ton of them. He wears a different one every day.
All right.
All these heavy metal T-shirts. And so we got to talking one day, and he goes, yeah, hey, my brother does this show. I think he's been doing it 15 years or more.
Okay.
And he says it's the classic metal show. And he goes, oh, my God, dude, I listen to that all the time.
Nice.
He said, so this guy proceeds to tell him all about the show.
Oh, boy.
Now I've made it clear here on the show that even though I've been doing this for 22 plus years,
yeah,
my family is not hip to this thing at all.
They don't get it.
They don't listen. They don't quite get it. They don't know what it is that I do. I don't encourage them to listen.
Right, sure.
But it's just like, so are you still doing that thing that what is it that you do? You know.
How much do you get paid to do?
Yeah, more or less. So he was telling me that a guy that he works with listens to us.
Okay.
So I was just like, okay, he goes, I had no idea that people knew who you were.
Wow.
And so he said, this guy is like, that's your brother? Really? That is so cool. What's it like to have a famous brother?
Oh boy. You're wondering that yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. Well, that's cool. So then this guy walks up and he's talking to one of my sisters.
Okay.
I don't recognize this guy from Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And so this guy walks up and he goes, hey, you know Wendell, don't you? So he puts his hand out to shake my hand. He goes, glad to meet you, sir.
Oh, boy.
And I said, sir? I said, why are you calling me sir? And when I found out who it was a guy I went to high school with and a guy that I went to church with. And I looked at him. His name is Kevin. Mm-hmm. I said, why are you calling me sir, Kevin? And he looks at me and he goes, Wendell, is that you? I haven't seen this guy in 35 years.
Jeez, oh, man.
I mean, he was a kid the last time I saw him. I think probably the last time I saw this guy was like 1984. Did
you recognize him?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Nice.
I mean, he had the shaved head going on, you know, obviously older.
Sure. By a couple minutes.
Yeah. Didn't realize who this guy was.
Right.
So he starts going on and on. My girlfriend's standing there, and he starts going on. Oh, my God. You would not believe this guy. I looked up to this guy so much. He was just a rebel, and he did his own thing, and I just was like, he is like one of my heroes as a kid. And I was like, dude, take it easy. Take it easy. So
that's when Julie just said, I got to get a drink. I got to get away from this shit.
Yeah. So I started catching up with this guy, the whole, where you been? What have you been doing?
Right.
Well, I just finished up with my third marriage, and that kind of a thing.
Good Lord.
And so I caught up with him a little bit and just chit chatted and caught up with the other sisters and brother, and met up with some other people that I kind of knew a little bit.
Right.
And hung out there for maybe 3 hours. I think we left out of there probably about 11:30.
Okay.
And so it was interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to expect at these what I want to call late in life weddings.
Right, sure.
Especially when it's your second or your third one.
Yeah.
So I don't know what. I mean, it was nice. It was a nice affair. I mean, it was set up nice. They had good food and catering, and the arrangements were good and everything. But it was just, for me, that's just not my scene. You know that.
Sure.
But I made the best of it. And it was cool. And again, just kind of catching up with some people I haven't seen in a while, and seeing people I really haven't seen in a while. And I guess it's just kind of weird, because when I go to these kind of things, it's kind of like I'm a what do you want to call? I feel like I'm a strange fascination for some people.
You're the outsider.
I am the outsider.
Mm-hmm.
But I did go, and it was nice. It was very well put together. It was, like I said, it was just an intimate affair. I think maybe there were 35 people there total.
Okay.
Cool. Family and friends, and so it was all well and fine. And then basically turn around, and Sunday went over, visited with the dad. He's 80. What is he now? He's like 80, 89.
Wow. Well, he got them all.
Yeah. So he gets around great, no problem, no physical issues, nothing.
Nice.
So I went and visited with him for a little while, and headed back home.
That's cool. Am I still public enemy number one, or am I allowed to drive through Akron again?
Not that I'm aware of. Your name didn't come up. Oh, but I will tell you that my other brother-in-law,
yeah,
he informed me that you posted on Facebook that there would be no show this week because I had family business.
Okay.
So I was informed by my brother-in-law what you posted on Facebook. Because his brother follows us as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So he was like, no show this week, huh? Because Chris posted on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, well, that's good, because I was not aware of it.
Yeah, well, I just posted there. I can't just not have either of us show up.
But it's funny that other people are informing me what's going on when I don't even know myself. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you do that, but it's like, yeah, I knew there wasn't going to be a show this week because Chris posted this because my brother told me this. He texted me that the show would not be tonight because you're going to be over there. So,
right,
it's like this is way too convoluted for me. I'm so out of the loop when it comes to the social media and who texted what and who posted what where and what's going on there, and it's just like. Sometimes it's just overwhelming.
Yeah,
but you bathe in it every day, so
I live in the social media world.
You do.
Not so much Facebook anymore. I'm much more Twitter guy these days.
Yeah, I see that you've put a message out there on the CMS Facebook about asking people if they want to follow you on the Twitter.
Yeah, because I'm phasing out Facebook. I just fucking hate it.
Yeah, I phased that out from the day it started.
You phased it out when it was MySpace.
Yeah, it was.
No, I still live with it. But you know what, though, dude? I mean, part of it for me is that I have to live in it because I make money with it. I have a new client starting this week, and that's several $100s a month coming into my pocket. I have to stay current with fucking all this bullshit. That's this afternoon. I posted the first ever CMS posting on IGTV, Instagram TV.
All right.
Which is part of our channel now. So, I have to do it, although that's not going to take off. I'm just going to state that for the record. That is going to fucking die as fast as Periscope did.
Yeah, Periscope didn't last very long, did it?
Well, this is the same thing. It's instant. They're allowing you to do video, but you have to do it in the up and down. What is that? Is that portrait or landscape? That's up and down.
That would be portrait.
Yeah, you have to do your videos portrait.
Right.
So, and not to get all social media-ish, but for fuck's sake, it took forever and a day to get everybody to turn their goddamn phones instead of having shitty videos on YouTube. And now, all of a sudden, it's now Instagram's here saying, well, we're not going to have videos that way. We're only going to have them the other way now. And it's like, ugh, you fucking idiots. It's not going to take off. It'll be dead in 6 months. I hope.
All right.
But, because I don't need to learn another thing. I don't need to have yet another thing where I get calls from customers saying, how can we capitalize on our ROI using IGTV? And then I have to come up with some reason to steal their money.
Very nice.
Oh, let me tell you why IGTV is a thing for you. There's great potential. Instagram is the big market on the uprise right now, so you need to be there and better be there with video. Ugh. All that fucking horseshit that I feed everybody.
I'll never see it.
I'll see it because I have to,
right?
Not because I have any real interest in it. I mean, I'm still trying to get more video out there. I like doing video, but man, it's time consuming. Believe it or not, it's more time consuming to do fucking video than it is to throw a post on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or Instagram, whichever one you're using. It's just more time consuming, or I don't know. I think maybe I'm just more picky. I don't want to just throw some fucking picture of me looking like total hell more than I normally do.
Sure.
I just don't want to do that. So, I don't want to just in the middle of the night I have an idea, like so many people do. They have some fucking random thought. Dude, I'm sitting here listening to Images and Words by Dream Theater. I forgot that I liked this. Post. I don't need that shit. So I don't know. I try to keep it up for the fans, but if it was up to me, we'd go back to not even having fucking smartphones. We'd go back to the days where, if you didn't know where somebody was going to be and they were out, you just didn't hear from them for 5 days.
That's funny you should say that because, as you know, Julie is 30.
Right.
So she's right in the thick of, the technology, iPhones, Instagram, Facebook, all that. She even made the comment. Actually, she made the comment to me. I believe it was either yesterday or today.
Mm-hmm.
She said to me, you know what? Thinking about it, I wish things would go back to when we didn't have these things.
When was that in her life?
Well, she's too is getting to the point to where, you know what? Not everybody should have this.
Yeah. Well, and dude, you know what? Everybody still has it, but I don't think people are using it anymore.
Well, some people are.
Yeah. I mean, I have not had any problem not being on Facebook. I don't miss the conversations. I don't miss the arguments, and I've blocked so many fucking people that I just don't see most. It got to the point where, and especially it was show people and stuff that were finding me on Facebook, and they were friending me. So I had this pattern of how I would accept their friend. I wouldn't just hit. I know you'd have no idea what I'm talking about here, but it comes up as a, hey, you've got a new friend request, and you can either deny or confirm to accept them. But I would never do that. Instead, I had to go find their profile and then confirm it and then immediately unfollow them because I really don't want to see, no offense to anybody, but I really don't give a fuck if you're somebody that likes us in fucking Butte, Montana somewhere. I really don't give a fuck that you're at a barbecue with your fucking girlfriend and your baby that you got because you didn't pull out.
Right.
I just don't care. it got to be where Facebook, for a while, Facebook was nice because I could use it to keep up with friends and go to parties and, do that kind of shit. And now I've like unfollowed so many people that I just don't, I just don't use it anymore, honestly. And that's why I've been liking Twitter a lot more because, we, as you can imagine, we get a million trolls, that are just telling us how bad we suck or whatever.
Of course.
And both YouTube and Twitter have the same function of where you just mute them and they think that they're still arguing with you and being seen and having their big opinion out there. But meanwhile, it just doesn't get posted anywhere.
Right.
So I love that because I just mute everybody and then I don't hear from anybody that I don't want to hear from anymore. It's fantastic. I love it.
Nice. Tyrant Eric Dawson in the chat room says, I bet Chris unfollowed me.
Probably did. And that's that's not saying that you're not a nice dude or whatever, Tyrant, but I don't fucking know you. If I haven't drank shots with you, then pretty much accept the fact that I've unfollowed you.
Right.
That's kind of the rule of thumb. If I have not drank with you, you can assume that I've unfollowed you if you're on my Facebook. I don't need to see what you're doing. I don't know you to know what you're doing.
Right.
And to be honest, I couldn't give a fuck about your opinions on Democrat or Republican, either side, so I don't care about that either. And since that's all that Facebook is now,
right,
I'm done. I'm just done with it.
Sure.
So,
well, getting back to your situation, what is the situation with your back? You said you tore a cartilage or something? Yeah,
I tore some cartilage and potentially a ligament in where your hip meets your back.
Okay.
My left hip, I guess.
All right.
And I mean, it's been bad for several weeks now, 3-4 weeks. I mean, a long time. As I know you remember, about a year ago this time, I had a sciatica thing.
Yeah.
That happened. So I thought it was just a flare up of that. That's why I didn't think much of it. I just figured it'll pass in a few days. And I didn't do anything about it. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And, it got to the point where I was like in real pain and I was just fucking dying. So I finally broke down. I was hearing it from my mom and I was hearing it from my kids and everything else. Like, you got to go to the fucking doctor. So finally I broke down and go to the doctor. And as you can imagine, it didn't go well. I normally have a doctor that's also a friend of mine, my friend Nancy, who is a doctor.
Right.
That I usually go to for this kind of shit, for any kind of shit, really. But she's out of the country. She's wealthy and her husband is also wealthy. So they're on like some 6-week fucking escapade somewhere. I don't even know what they're doing. But she ain't in. So I had to kind of just pick whatever doctor was around. So since I have trouble getting in and out of the car, I was like, well, I'll go to whoever's the closest that'll take me. So I go to this doctor here in town. And I go through, he sends me over to the hospital and I do the whole battery of tests, the x-rays, the CAT scan, I'm just sitting there watching my fucking wallet deflate with every single test because I don't do insurance, man. I just pay it.
Right.
I'm just like, oh my God, here's another test. Here's another 900. Here's a test. Here's another 1,200. I'm like, motherfuck, this fucking shit sucks. So they do the tests, and then I go back, and I go and I sit with the doctor, and the doctor, me and this guy, could not have gotten on any worse than, I'm in pain, and I'm not in a good mood anyway, and this guy has to be that doctor. He's like, well, you have this tear and you have this and that, and we're going to give you these exercises to do. And I'm like, all right, what are they? So he gives me a list. There's like 14 exercises. I have to do these exercises every hour. I'm not allowed to sit more than 45 minutes at a time. And then after 45 minutes, I got to get up, do 2 or 3 of the exercises, and then I can go back to working or whatever.
Right.
But I have to do it all day long. All fucking day long, I have to do these goddamn exercises. And the reason I have to do them is because they're trying to see that if they can strengthen enough to avoid surgery, because I just don't want to do surgery.
Well, nobody wants to do surgery.
Yeah, especially on your back. That just sounds not fun. So I'm like, all right, I'll do these exercises, but this is when this guy and me start falling apart. Because then he says the most obvious, you can even guess. He says the most obvious stupid shit ever.
You got to lose some weight.
Exactly. And I just fucking snapped on him. And look, I know I'm a fat piece of shit. I know that. I always acknowledge that. I'm not hiding it. I'm not hiding from it. I'm not delusional in thinking, well, I'm a little bit chubby. No, I'm not. I'm big as a goddamn house. So this guy saying, and his exact words were, wouldn't hurt you any to lose a little bit of weight. And I literally looked at him and I said, really? How the fuck do you figure I do that when I can't even fucking stand up? And he just looked at me. He's like, you don't have to get so angry. I was like, well, you're stupid.
You don't have to get so indignant, sir.
Yeah, well, then don't say something so fucking stupid to me. I get it. I'm a big fat piece of shit. I didn't come here to fucking solve the mystery of Chris. I know I'm fat. I got it. So that starts the problem. So then, as we're talking through this fucking exercise routine that I have to do, he says, well, rate your pain, 1 to 10. And I said, look, I'm a pretty steady 8 every time I have to stand up. And he goes, okay, well, I'll write you a prescription for some Tylenol. Tylenol.
So what do you need a prescription for Tylenol for? Can't you just get that over the counter?
Well, and that was kind of where I went with it. I was like, why do I need a prescription? I'm thinking, is it T3s or something that have codeine in it? Something. No, just regular Tylenol.
So what's the prescription for?
Because I guess, and this is his answer, his answer was that if you get it by prescription, you don't have to pay for it if you have insurance,
okay,
which he knew I didn't fucking have in the first fucking place.
Okay.
So he was just, again, being a dumbass. And I was like, what, I can't go to fucking Walgreens and pick it up? I need a prescription? And he just looked at me like a dummy. And I just was so fucking pissed off. And I said to him, I said, you're not going to give me anything for pain other than Tylenol? And he goes, well, we'll have to see how it goes. And I said, and I just looked at him. I said, that's okay. I know where I can get real pain medicine anyway.
Right.
And he just was like, well, I can't recommend that you do that, sir. And I was like, yeah, I'm not asking you for your fucking permission. It's like, fuck you, you fucking jizzbag. Just fucking give me the list of exercises to do, and I'll see you in a month. And hopefully you'll be on vacation, you fucking cocksucker. Oh, I was so fucking pissed. I was so angry.
So it just added to the pain.
It really did. It was just annoying as fuck. But to be fair to this doctor, and I would love to absolutely shit on this fucking cocksucker, I actually feel quite a bit better since I've been doing these exercises.
Wow, that's a positive thing.
I'm not 100%, but I'm able to get in and out of the car now, and I'm able to get up and walk around, and still walking like slow with little steps instead of big steps or whatever, but I'm able to move around some. So, I'm like right now I don't feel anything. Nothing's hurting or nothing. So
yeah, it's the beers. It's the self-medication.
Yeah, I've only had one beer and I haven't had any pain meds today. But oh man, I hate fucking doctors. Dude, is it me? I mean, you never go, so me and you're in the same boat. I probably go more than you, which says a lot because I never go.
Right.
And I bet you haven't been 10 times in 10 years.
Dude, I haven't been 10 times in my life. And that's a statement. I literally have not been to a doctor. I'll tell you when the last time, let me think when the last time I actually went to a doctor.
Yeah.
An actual doctor. I'm going to say that I went to an actual doctor when I was 24.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's been 30 years.
Jeez, oh man. Yeah, you never go.
No, I went to a urgent care clinic when I was 24.
Right. You're going to be that guy that goes the one time you'll have like stage 4 cancer in 8% of your body because you never went to the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
You'll be like, God damn, I can't figure out why I'm so tired. And you'll be like, yeah, because you got a tumor the size of fucking 150 pounds, in your fucking stomach.
Right.
Oh, man. No, it just, dude, doctors, obviously I have a long history with doctors from the burn accident
Sure.
and whatnot. But the only thing I learned about doctors in the burn accident is you got to remind them constantly that they fucking work for you. And this was another one of those situations. This guy was playing God, and I didn't want to hear it. I was like, dude, don't be a dick. Just tell me what's wrong and fucking fix it. That's your job. You are no more than a mechanic. Now put your wrench on my fucking back and twist, you cocksucker. I mean, honestly, that's all a doctor is a fucking overpaid, overeducated mechanic.
Yeah. Well, this is where my skepticism with doctors come into play. And I know doctors do good work. And believe me, I'm not putting doctors down in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. But I'm so skeptical in the last 25, maybe 30 years.
Yeah.
About the pharmaceutical, the power of pharmaceuticals getting into these doctors' pockets.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And them prescribing or whatever shit that you don't need. Mm-hmm. And, I know there's kickbacks involved. I know that that's a big industry. That's a huge conglomerate. And I just don't trust people when money is involved. When there's a huge amount of capital gains involved, mm-hmm. that seems to slant people's credibility.
Their judgment too, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm skeptical. And I'm sure at some point, maybe, I might need a doctor, and like you, I will go.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of trepidation and skepticism when it comes to, the medical field.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. But I know this, and this is what made me nuts about this fucking doctor telling me he's going to give me a prescription for Tylenol. I get that he probably deals with a lot of fucking people that come in at our doctor shopping or script shopping, looking to get an oxy prescription or whatever. But what is he really thinking? Is he thinking he's got my medical history in front of him where he can see I haven't been to the doctor 10 times in 10 fucking years. And he sees a fucking CAT scan that shows tears in my back. Does he really think that this was some secret plot that I had to get some fucking oxy or something?
Right.
I mean, what the fuck, dude? What do you got to do to actually get a script? That's where I was pissed. I was like, dude, you're going to give me a script for Tylenol? Go fuck yourself. My shit's fucking hurting. I can't fucking stand up, you cunt. Ugh. I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah, I would imagine. Well, at least you did follow some of the instructions and are doing the exercises, and you actually do feel better.
I do feel quite a bit better, and I'm gonna test it Monday for the first time of actually trying to do something, standing for a little while. I'm going to the range on Monday morning. I'm gonna go and shoot some guns.
Oh, nice.
Because Kelly bought a 357. So.
Really?
She bought a Smith & Wesson 357.
Well, I did buy that Beretta a few weeks back.
Yeah.
So
you haven't shot it yet, though, have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't had a chance to go do that yet.
Yeah, she hits me up today with a picture of it, and she's like, you want to go shooting? And I wanted to go today. I was like, yeah, let's go. And she's like, oh, I can't fucking go today.
Nice.
Which was good because I had to work most of the day, but I would have blown it off to go shoot because I haven't shot in forever.
Right.
But then it was like, she was like, it looks like they're really busy, online. She's looking online where they say how busy a company is at each hour.
Right.
And she looked at Monday as nobody because everybody's going back to work. So, I was like, all right, cool. We'll go Monday and we'll go. I'll bring the judge and she'll bring the 357 and we'll shoot some guns.
Yeah, you white conservatives with your guns.
Yeah. Now, dude, it's funny, too, because I thought when she said she was getting a 357, I was thinking Dirty Harry.
Right.
I'm thinking some big old fucking gun.
He said, well, you just need a fence post to rest it on while you take aim.
Yeah, but it's not. Dude, it's as small as the Judge.
Right.
I didn't realize they made a 357 that size. I guess they make everything that size.
Well, they do. That little Beretta I bought, a couple of months ago, it comes in 44, it comes in the 9.
Right.
And it's a smaller gun.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to shoot it. I'll say that. I mean, I've shot the big one once, the big 357. We rented one once and we're shooting it. Man, oh man, that motherfucking thing is brutal. I wouldn't even want to have that thing. It's so heavy. I'd be afraid of pointing at somebody and shooting and missing because I'd hit the fucking floor because that thing is so heavy. A nice little small one, that's nice. I can't wait to shoot that fucker.
Yeah, you white guys and your guns and stuff.
Look, I'm a fucking hillbilly. If you want to really drill down, I may do a lot of modern shit with internet and web and in my life, but I'm a hillbilly at heart. I'm a barefoot shooting guns, jumping in a mud hole guy. That's me. Just a fucking bumpkin.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time. Well, anyway, we are back. Believe it or not. I mean, we're going to be back for a while.
I would hope.
And, we're going to take some time off in August.
Yeah. Not really. Are we?
Well, I don't know. Are we going to broadcast?
We might. But I don't know if we're going to broadcast live or if we're going to record it and do it as a special or something. We're going to do radio. I know that. Okay. Well, but regardless, it may or may not be a live thing on the 25th of August. Right, sure. But the Summer Bash is coming up. It's shaping up. Boy, there's a lot of bands on that bill now. Yeah, it's do you have the listing there? Because obviously I don't know all these guys. I mean, I do know Billy Morris. I do know Tough, Red Rain, Every Mother's Nightmare. Who else is added to this? New Machine, L.A. Knights, and what was the other band? I forget. Hold on. Let me go to our Facebook page, and I should be able to tell you if I have a current one. Babylon Shakes. Who are they? I don't know. Okay. I think they're on the High Volume Music label. Okay. Well, I guess our good friend Bill Chavis is bringing all these people in for this thing. I mean, obviously it is his fest. Right, sure. But, boy, I'll tell you, Wooster, Ohio. It's going to be an all-day thing. It is. Here's the whole lineup. It's New Machine, Babylon Shakes, L.A. Knights, Red Rain, Tough, Billy, and Every Mother's Nightmare. All right. So that's a full day of entertainment. It is. It's a full day of music, but I hope anybody who's in the region, anywhere from, northeast Pennsylvania all the way to Chicago, would make the trip out. Yeah, well, they should. It's fucking cheap as shit to go. $15. If nothing else, $15 for what? 4 national bands, even if they are smaller national bands. It's $15 fucking dollars. Yeah, $15. You pay more than that for a beer and a half at a fucking regular show. So just fucking show up, you jizzbags. Well, I mean, obviously there is travel involved and accommodations and everything, but regardless, it's kind of sounds like a fun time to, gather. Yeah. And hang out a little bit. I would think so. So we're going to be there. Yeah, we're going to be there. That's the most important part. That's the real draw, us. That's why all the bands are on the side and we're in the middle of the ad. Did you see the ad? We're right in the middle. I did not see that. Look, if you go to our Facebook page, I'm going to do that. Well, let me look at it. Is this new? It's the header. It's the header. Oh, thing. All right. Let me look. I'm going to look. That just goes to show you how much I look at this shit. Let me take a look. I'm looking at our Facebook right now. We're in the middle? Yeah, we're right under the date. Hosted by Chris and Neeley of the Classic Metal Show. I'm not... At the top. I am. I'm looking at it. You're looking at the thing that says High Volume Music Summer Fest Bash? Yes. And then right under it's in white. That's why. What are you, colorblind?
Well, no, it's just I wasn't expecting it to be in set. I was actually looing for our logo. That's what I was looking for.
No, just our names.
I see they used my full name.
Yeah, well, of course.
How cool is that?
You've become important, my friend.
I guess.
You're not just Neeley anymore.
I see
Wendell Neeley.
Yeah, I see that.
Soon to be Sir Wendell Neeley
right.
in some people's eyes.
Please. All right. Well, yeah, that's cool. I like that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to obviously seeing Billy because he's always good to us.
Sure.
Haven't seen Stevie in a few years, so it's cool to see him.
Sure.
Really looking forward to Every Mother's Nightmare because I have seen them live and they do perform. They're a great live band.
Okay, cool. I've not seen them. I don't believe.
They're a great live band. Every Mother's Nightmare, Red Rain, obviously I've seen them, and, it'll be cool to catch up with those guys again.
Sure.
So, looking forward to it. I'm telling you, it may not be the Def Leppard Journey tour, but
yeah,
it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun. I mean, come on, we have fun wherever we go.
Right.
We had fun at the Melodic Rock Fest.
Well, I thought the Melodic Rock Fest was fun, but it was. I had a lot of fun seeing some bands that I hadn't seen before.
Sure.
But I had more fun catching up with people either I've never met before but actually spoken to for years.
Sure.
Be it Dave Tedder and obviously Andrew McNeese. We're seeing our good friend Jack Frost.
Right.
People like that. That was a lot of fun for me.
Sure.
But most of these guys on this bill are people that I know.
Sure.
And I'm looking forward to seeing them perform.
Yeah, I am too. It's going to be fun.
So if you haven't made plans yet, you got about a month and a half, month and a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
August 25th, Summer Bash, Wooster, Ohio.
Yep.
So come on out and hang with us.
Yeah. Stop being lazy. Get out there.
Yeah, come on out and just have a good time. If you come up and introduce yourself and say, hey, I listen to you guys every week or whatever it is, I will buy you a drink.
Wow, look at that.
So,
I might have to say that to you like 12 times.
Well, speaking of buying you something, and then we'll take a short break here.
Yeah.
One of my favorite equipment websites, the one that I buy most of my audio equipment from, bswusa.com.
Yeah.
They came out, or they feature a new set of headphones that I purchased.
Okay.
And I know you've had a pair of headphones that you seem to like for a lot of years.
Yeah, I still have them on my head right now, and they're wearing the fuck out.
These are a little more compact.
Okay.
But boy, the highs and the lows and the mid-range on these are phenomenal.
Nice.
And I bought them because I thought it was a new line item that they came out with. Just like, hey, this new headphones. I think I'm gonna send you a pair.
All right, I'll proudly wear them.
Because putting these on is like being in a silent chamber.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
As soon as you put them on, it's just like deadly silent until you start playing whatever audio you're listening to.
I like that.
And it's absolutely. I'm just like, wow. These are really good. I mean, they're not super expensive, but I'm really pleased with them, and I thought, maybe you'd like a pair of these.
And they're smaller?
They're smaller.
Good, because these are probably the reason my back is fucked up. They're so goddamn big and heavy.
But I've had them for about a month, and I'm really digging them.
All right.
And I thought, I'm gonna send a pair over to Chris. I'm gonna see what you think.
Thank you, sir. I will gladly and proudly wear them.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it, it's a single lead.
Okay.
And the lead plugs in depending on which side, whether it's the left or the right side you choose to have your lead on.
Okay.
It'll either plug into the right side or the left side of the headphone.
Oh, I like that.
So do I.
Because right now, I mean, I've got the dual right now where it like splits off.
Yeah, this is a single lead, and you can choose which side you want to plug it into.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And it never pops out or nothing?
No, not at all.
Well, yeah. Eddie in the chat room, what are they called?
I will have to look them up.
case people want to know.
Yeah, but I'm really pleased with these.
Okay.
BSWUSA.com.
Yeah, I've loved these Sonys that I have for a long time.
Let's see here. What were these called? Looking for them real quick here. If I can't find it real quick, I will let you know in a few minutes here or after the break.
That's fine.
But yeah, they're really good.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll just find them during the break, dude.
I'll do it during the break.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what's going on here with Chris and I. We are back live on the Classic Metal Show. We should be live for the next at least 6 weeks or more.
Yeah, I would think so.
So I don't think I have anything where it's gonna take me away, or
no,
you.
I don't.
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't believe I do. Not that I'm aware of. And the way my fucking stupid back's going, believe me, I'm at home.
Very nice.
I ain't gonna lie, I have been running around, not trying to, but just drinking a lot, considering that my back is all fucked up. You know, last Thursday, I guess it was. Kelly called me and she's like, "Why don't you come over?" And I was like, "All right." And she's like, "Pick up a bottle of Tennessee Fire." And I picked up a bottle of that, a gallon of it, the big bottle.
Okay.
And we did that whole bottle in shots. Just knocked them back.
You did a whole bottle, huh?
There was a little bit left, but not much. And then yesterday, I had to drop off. My daughter bought a car from her, and she didn't get the title notarized.
Okay.
So I had to take the title back over to her house to get the title notarized. So I hit her up. It was like 3:00 in the afternoon or something. She's like, "Yeah, come over right now if you want to and drop it off." I was like, "All right." So I jumped in the car and I drove over there, and immediately we started nailing shots. I drank, I don't know, 6-8 shots again yesterday.
Nice.
I'm feeling, my back may be hurting, but I'm making it better with the fucking with the alcohol.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
See, look at Tyrant. Okay, Chris, your manager's calling you. Yeah, you know what, Tyrant? My manager can call all he wants. It's my fucking show. My manager's going to call me to bounce you out of here, you fucking keep being a smart ass.
Wow. Wow. Too good.
I know.
I was trying to find that thing real quick, but I'll find it before when we get back. But
all right.
Anyway, what is the story with playing the licensed music? Is that in force yet or not?
It is not yet.
Okay.
There's a slight delay based on a couple of legal things.
Okay.
So we may be able to as of next week.
All right.
May be able to. I have not talked to Corey this week, so I haven't heard, but it was supposed to be by this week, and then there was a delay, and now I'm told the 15th, which we might sneak into the 14th.
Okay.
So it's coming.
Because I got some people already hitting me up with, "Hey, now that you're able to play this, can you play?"
Just because we're able to doesn't mean we're going to.
Right.
Get that through your heads, fuckies. We're not going to all of a sudden switch back and say, "Hey, here's another Rat tune that you've heard a million times before." Nah, we're not doing it. We're going to keep it at least balanced. It's going to be...
Well, yeah, we'll definitely try to balance the two.
There's no reason to fuck over the people that have let us play their music, out of sheer kindness, so we're going to keep playing their stuff and keep exposing it. That's for damn sure.
Well, I agree with that.
So
definitely.
But not this week. This week we're going to do all the old stuff or the current stuff, I guess.
The unsigned stuff.
Yeah.
The guys and bands that need the exposure.
That's right.
All right, let me see here. I'm going to play some of this Black Coffee. I know that you're a big fan.
I am a big fan.
And so you got a pick for this?
I love the song Hurricane, but we've played that one. Let me pull it up real quick. Give me some titles.
Well, we got some Creamer.
No.
I Barely Know Her.
Great, but no.
Hurricane.
Great, but no.
Monica.
Okay, no.
Born to Lie.
Go with that one.
Go with that one?
Yeah, go with Born to Lie.
All right. All right, these guys are out of Columbus, Ohio, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the name of the band, not a great name, but it's called Black Coffee.
Yep.
And this one is called Born to Lie. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy some Black Coffee in our absence. It's Black Coffee exclusively here
on your classic metal show.